Your fingers just don't hurt. Yeah, there you go.
but we said it's no big deal.
It's County Board of Commissioners meeting. Commissioner Taylor, would you lead us our pledge?
Would you please join me in honoring our country and our flag? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Dana, would you lead us for a prayer?
Yes. Please join me as we go to the Father. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the sunshine and the blue skies. We thank you for the rain, Lord, but we do ask that you be with our brothers and sisters and our neighbors in Lincoln County as they struggle with the issues that they've had with the fire and the floods. Lord, be with them. Give them hope. Give them comfort. Give them strength. Lord, we just thank you for today. We thank you for our brothers and sisters in Israel. Please be with them. Please be with the hostages. Bring them home safely. Be with our law enforcement as they protect us on the roads and in our area. Thank you, Lord, for Chaves County. Thank you, Lord, for our citizens and what they do. Give us open ears and open heart as we listen today, Lord. We just ask that you be with us today. And we pray this. And God be the glory. Thank you.
Amen.
Cindy, do we have a quorum? Thank you. Okay, we have a approval of agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Taylor for approval of agenda. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes, Cindy, for June 13th and June 27th.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Daniels, second by Commissioner Taylor for approval of minutes for June the 13th and
And the 27th.
the 22nd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
27.
27.
Yeah.
Okay. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Is Jennifer? Yes, ma'am. You want to come up and give us a little report?
Good morning, how are you guys?
We're good. Thank you.
Sorry for retarding this.
We grab the handouts.
This morning, so it was a little rough getting here today. I'm with Chaves Soil and Water Conservation District, and no, you're fine. I'm with Chaves Soil and Water Conservation District, and we've been talking with some producers, and they're very interested in learning how to write grants. So with that, we have partnered up with the Extension Office, which I don't know if they're here today. I'm sure they're out at the fairgrounds. We partnered up with them, and we're going to be putting on a grant writing training for the public. So we just wanted to inform you guys of that. There's so much money especially in the ag world right now. There's so much money out there. So we're trying to get our hands on some of it and try to put it back into the ground here in Travis County and in our district. Our district also kind of flows into Lincoln County a little bit. So anyway, there's a grant writing training on August 13th from noon to 6. We are going to have a lunch provided. We'll probably do some pulled pork sandwiches or something. We have a specialist coming in. His name is Jesse Jewin. He works with NMACD. He's very, very brilliant. He's a great resource. He's been in the grant world for a number of years. He's who I've relied on to help me get several grants going. I'm happy to announce our district has actually gotten awarded 5 grants this year. So some of them will be for juniper treatment. Some of them is a cover crop initiative to help with some of the wind erosion. I think I've talked with you guys about that before. We're really, really excited about this opportunity. And like I said, it's free and open to the public to join. We do have sponsorship available if anybody was interested in that. That does not mean it has to be a monetary sponsorship. If you or your business or whoever you represent has programs or funding or anything available, whether it's ag related, for people in rural areas, for water lines for their houses or electrical issues. If you or your company have any programs or grants or funding opportunities, we would love for you guys to just come up and say whatever that opportunity is so that those who are present will know where they can turn to for the projects that they have in mind. So for example, we will have BLM, NRCS, FSA, maybe the Turkey Federation. We're trying to get with Game and Fish, the Mule Deer Foundation. There's going to be several people there. So right now we've got almost 35 people signed up to take the course. It'll be at the Civic Center, like I said, August 13th from noon to 6. So do you guys have any questions? No? All right. And I have come here and talked to you guys before about a project that we're going to be doing west of town. We're going to be comparing bale grazing with contour plowing and broadcast seeding, and then a fertilization. We did get the grant funded for that. So we'll keep that out in the public, and we hope to have a good turnout for that one as well.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Thank
Y'all
you
have
for
a good day.
all your hard work.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Brian.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I'm just going to give you a brief update on the state of flood control. My name is Brian Hotelin, Superintendent of Flood Control. I'd like to start with everything's good. We've been getting some rain and there's been some flooding, but it's not due to the failure of any flood control structures. It's just severe rain. Monday evening, we had some flooding out in the base area. This was due to a severe thunderstorm. The gauge on the airport read about 1.5 inches in less than an hour. And I suspect it was more than that west of there. It's going to take a little while for that country to drain. There's still a little bit of water going over the perimeter road, but it should dry up soon. As far as the Hondo from Ruidoso, 90% of the debris coming from Ruidoso is stopped at 2 rivers. They close the gate, float the debris, and pull it out of the inlet, and we don't. Roswell will never see any of it. Whatever's left ends up on the Brown Ranch. We've had flows in the Rocky Arroyo and the Hondo. The Rocky Dam still has water behind it. It ought to be completely empty within the next 2 days, and the Hondo will probably continue to flow for some time. There's quite a bit of water back there. As far as the Berindo, we had a little bit of flooding through low water crossings 2 weeks ago. That was not from Ruidoso. I know there was some confusion on Facebook and those kind of places about that. That was from a thunderstorm up the Blackwater Draw. Again, no significant damage, just some road closures. We've had runs in basically every draw from the south end of the county up to the Macho draw. So it's spread out, a little easier to handle that way. But basically everything's wet now, so we could see some more runoff. And that's really all I have right now. I'll stand for any questions you might have.
Anyone have any questions? Commissioner Perry?
Hey, Brian, if I may, would you say there's confusion on Facebook? Is that because of other people are reporting flooding issues, or is that a Facebook page you guys have?
Oh, no, we don't have a Facebook page. This is just me looking on Facebook. Every time anything floods, because of the way the news is, people assume it's coming from Ruidoso.
All right. So where would that information be disseminated best from you guys?
I guess they could call the office, flood control office, my cell phone. I have a county phone. I answer 24 hours a day, as I found out the other day. And but yeah, we're happy to answer any questions. And if anybody posts a question on the county Facebook, it'll get forwarded to me, and I can reach out to these folks.
Can you post up to the county website on that, in that system?
I can do that through someone here at the county. I don't have access to it myself. I try to limit my access to Facebook.
Thank you.
Commissioner Perry, we can do that for them. If they'll send information to us, to Jessica, and she'll get it to the right people, or post it herself, whichever way. But we can post that on the Chaves County Facebook page and, and our website as well, and let people know updates. If you want to start giving us a regular update, we can post that too if you want.
You bet, I'm happy to.
It just seems collectively we had a lot of information that we get apprised of in these meetings, and it'd also be nice that everybody else knew it. And I'm not saying you're falling down, you're doing a great job, but
Thank you.
maybe we could start posting some of that stuff.
Yes, sir, you bet.
Anyone else?
Don't you think it's so much more important for the public to have misinformation coming from other members of the public? It's a lot more entertaining.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Well,
Popcorn time, yeah. True.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Brian, it's been a long time since flood control actually had the contract to operate the Rocky Dam. And for its downstream neighbors, it was always nice to know that it was flood control instead of some other private contractor. Do you know when that contract's up? And do you have any interest in getting the dam back?
We don't have interest in that just yet, and I've been trying to make that a better situation. We've been in contact pretty much daily, multiple times a day with the Corps of Engineers, asking them to raise and lower the gate if we see a problem coming. I go out there regularly and visit with the contractor, so I'm hoping that's going to get better.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Brian. Mike Spiritu, you're hiding over there.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Happy Thursday. Just a few updates. Just want to let you know, you've heard about the Reno air races coming to Roswell, Chaves County. I think you may have heard that rumor. I want to share with you that for the past year and a half, it's been a lot of roller coaster riding, up and down, a lot of emotions and a lot of work. And I really thought after the announcement it'd get a little bit easier, but I think it's gotten worse. So we're averaging probably, I don't know, half a dozen emails every day from the rah-rah folks, and multiple Zoom calls and what have you, and folks here from Reno and other parts of from where the board members reside. But my point is this: we are busy right now working the transition to the execution. As a reminder, in May timeframe of 25, it'll be the pylon recertification school. Because it'll be a new course, it's going to require every pilot to come here to Roswell, Chaves County to get certified before they can race in the September event. That'll typically bring in several hundred people, if not more. It's not really a spectator event, it's really for training. In partnership with the university, they'll be doing some classroom work as well as actually flying the course. In September, sometime in September, I don't have a date yet, but I know it'll be after Labor Day, and I know it'll be before the Balloon Festival, which is October. So sometime in September will be the National Championship Air Race, or NCAR, and will bring in a lot of folks. The 2023 economic study done by the University of Nevada, Reno, shows that the 23 races last year yielded well over $150+ million in economic impact, and also brought in well over 100, I think it's a big number, over 100,000 people. So we don't know if that's what we'll see here, but there are some people believe that it'll be just as big because it's going to be the first year in a new place. And so we're very busy working towards that, a lot of work to do, and we always appreciate all the support you've had to help us get to where we're at today. And things are moving along fine. We recently went last Thursday, after our gala, which I'll talk about in just a second, we went up to Santa Fe. I met with some cabinet secretaries to transportation, economic development, and tourism, and some other folks, and as well as the governor, and to solidify their support and possibility of future funding for infrastructure needs to get this moved forward for the September event. We're hopeful that we'll be able to move that needle on that regard. We appreciate the county's involvement in that regard too, as well as helping us get that area ready for the big NCAR. To be clear, I've been asked many times, RARA, is that now the Roswell Air Racing Association? It is not, because that is the name of the organization, the Reno Air Racing Association, DBA NCAR. So NCAR is the actual big event. Okay, that's the race. That's the FAA accredited motorsport race in the country that'll be coming here, and it'll say on their new marketing stuff, it'll say NCAR Roswell, New Mexico, it won't say Reno, of course. Give an update on Builtwise, the modular housing company that we were able to get into the bus plant. You know a lot about that, and I guess the plant's been vacant for over 18 years or so, if not longer. And just give you an update where they're at. I was in the factory a couple weeks ago, and steel building. They have folks here from South Carolina training people. They have a lot of young ladies over there working too, which they also have in South Carolina. But it's a nice, clean environment, protected from the environment. More importantly, they had several homes they were already working on right there. I was really surprised to see that all the walls were 2x6 walls, which you don't normally see in most stick-built homes. So looks like a really great product that they're building. The current status is they're waiting on the FAA release the land for the purchase from the FAA. We've been going back and forth with FAA and the city to get that done. That's the only piece missing from closing on the sales of both the land and the building. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so hopefully we'll see that happen soon, and they can get where they need to be. Now, that's really important, and why that is because they're on the cusp of really expanding that and start building their own trusses here as well, and create another line. So it'll really be impactful for them to get that done, so they can obviously hire more people. Before the city soon is a lead application, which has already been approved for that, and also they were just recently awarded a JTIP award for their 103 employees that they could bring on initially. Good news, we were recertified as a certified economic development agency organization with the state of New Mexico. Not every city in New Mexico is, but we are. This is since the program started 3 years ago, we've been a certified organization all 3 years. So we appreciate, again, your support, because that helps us do that kind of work. We recently were awarded a grant by the State Economic Development Department, as we have in years past. It's called their LEADS program, and what that's all about is it's a grant that will help us move towards more real estate opportunities, specifically to get certified sites or shovel-ready sites more in this region to help us attract more opportunity. Because as you know, companies will move quicker, and because time is money, and they'll come to a site that's shovel ready versus when it's not. So We're working with the city of Roswell on a new location, and we'll do some of the work to get us there, and that's in conjunction or partnership with Xcel Energy. Lastly, before you is our annual report, and in it there's a lot of different things, and I know that Commissioner Chelly was here. Thank you for being there. I know you're all busy people. But last Thursday we had our gala, first one like that. We had over 360 folks attend, and those of you that were there saw a wonderful presentation by the chairman and CEO of the board of RARA, Fred Telling, and a nice little video. And he mentioned about Microsoft, right? And it's not really public yet, but the whole point, well, I guess it is now, right? So just by way of information, Microsoft developed a game pack to their, okay, I'm not a gamer, so I don't really understand all the terminology, so excuse me. So I'll try to work through this. But anyway, they developed a game pack on the races in Reno, and they went to well over 1 billion people observing and getting on board and playing that game.
I think it's a flight simulator. I think you can sit there and
Yep.
fly an airplane.
You can, and if you look, I don't think it's online yet, but once it is, and you get to see, we'll send you the images. The aircraft, everything in the game is all computer generated, but it looks really, really good. I mean, it's pretty amazing what they could do with those skills they have. But the point is this: Microsoft is going to produce a Roswell Air Racing in-car expansion pack, and it'll be out probably by Christmas time of this year, November. And why is that important for people? Well, I guess gamers like that stuff, but more importantly, there'll be people all over the world that can fly the race course in Roswell before the pilots really get to do it next year. So they anticipate a lot of marketing will happen organically because of that. That's pretty exciting. The gala last Thursday, after Fred's talk, we did a series of awards. For the first time, we held the Best of Chaves County, and the award winners are in the annual report. So we honored each of those individuals, those companies or businesses. Had a little certificate and a door thing for their place of business, so people know they were Best of Chaves County. We'll do that again next year. We'll probably expand it a little bit. We had, like I said, 23 categories. We also had, for the first time, 3 business awards. We had Community Service Award, which is Senior Pastor Rick Hale from Grace Community Church. He was the recipient of that. And we had the Small Business Award, which went to Pepper's Grill and Bar. And we had Large Business Award, which went to Pecos Valley Productions. And I know you know those folks, all those folks as well. Why did we do that? Why did we do that this time? Because we wanted to really celebrate Roswell and Chaves County and the people and the businesses within it and the difference they make in the lives of everyone else. So we'll continue to do that every year and have that in the July timeframe. We hope to see you next time. That concludes my presentation for this morning. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I stand for your questions.
Mike, thank you. Anyone have any questions for Mike?
I don't have a question, but Mr. Chairman, I'd like to say, Mike, I think we all want to recognize you for the great job you and your staff have done this past year. And anybody that missed that gala luncheon last week missed a great event. That was a wonderful show of all the businesses that turned out. And again, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, thank you for those kind words. It's obviously it's not just me, it's a lot of folks, but thank you. I truly believe, and Bill will tell you, I say this all the time because I really do mean it, and it's really truly for me an honor and pleasure to serve this great county. Wonderful people, great Americans, and again, it's truly a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Sheriff Harrington, do you want to introduce your crew?
Yes, I do. All right, so I'm going to have each one of them come up. These are my new deputies that yesterday they went to the academy. They passed the pre-assessment, and so they're scheduled to go to the academy here in August. So I would like for them to come up here and introduce themselves, tell you where they're from and why they're here. So I'll have them come up at this time. introduce yourself. I'm gonna get out of this picture because I look really little.
I'm Deputy Rivera. Nice to meet you. Good morning, everyone. I'm born and raised here in Roswell, 26 years old. The reason why I wanted to join the Sheriff's Department, I was in an accident when I was younger. Bad accident. Almost lost my right arm. And there was an officer there, RPD. She went to see me in the hospital. And ever since they flown me out to Lubbock, she would always check up on me and always put a smile on my face. And so I told her, I said, one day I'm gonna be like you. I'm gonna put smiles on people's faces and try to follow in her footsteps. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. I'm Deputy Gonzalez. I grew up in Ohio, and then I moved to North Carolina for schooling, and then I joined Army active duty. And then after I finished my active duty contract, I moved out here, joined the National Guard, and I started working at the jail. And then I applied to work at the sheriff's office. And since I was a kid, I wanted to be a soldier and I wanted to be a police officer. So now I get to do both. So that's my story.
Thank you.
I'm Kalani Davis. I'm 25, and I've always moved around from New Mexico, California, Texas, Nevada, Hawaii, all over. And I chose law enforcement because I've always had my family in law enforcement all over the town, or not here in town, but everywhere. And so just gave it a shot, and I always liked how it was, so here I am.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Justine Rodriguez. I'm 25 years old. I am born and raised here in Roswell, New Mexico. And the reason why I wanted to be a deputy, I just want to give back to my community that's always given back to me and always been there to help my family. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Deputy Hernandez. I am 22 years old. I started off in dispatch in Eddy County. I was there for about 2 years. I used dispatch as a stepping stone to see if law enforcement was something that I wanted to do or if I wanted to move to fire EMS. Over the 2 years in dispatch, I learned a lot from the officers that I worked with, and I decided that that's something that I would like to do. So I got the opportunity to do that here, and here I am.
Thank you very much. Anyone have any comments?
Welcome.
Yes.
So I also have another deputy who isn't here at this time. He committed to another engagement, but so we will have 6 of them going to the academy. One thing that I'm very proud of is that they're all local, so we don't have to worry about somebody getting homesick and going back somewhere else. So, but the one thing that I am just so proud of, and we see it, is how many people want to do this job, and their heart is in it. And, there are other agencies all over the state of New Mexico that pay more money than us, but they chose to be here. Not because of the money, but because, one, you're protecting and serving your community. And that is something that I really do admire in these guys and the rest of my deputies as well. While I'm standing up here, I'd like to also introduce my 2 new SROs, my school resource officers, if I can. So I'm going to have them come up here as well and tell you about themselves, and then we'll do the ratification stuff later.
Good morning. I'm Deputy Olivia Padilla. I've been with the Chaves County Sheriff's Office approximately 8.5 years. I was appointed or made an SRO, which is a school resource officer for Chaves County, approximately a year ago, but I was pregnant, so went to training and then went on maternity leave and then started in January. So I have a full semester under my belt. There's 5 county schools. However, my contract is working with Roswell Independent School District. So not only do I assist in the county schools, if the schools within the city need assistance, I respond to those also. I've enjoyed it. And I know that our county schools are very appreciative of having law enforcement presence and getting to show the children that we're not just there when bad things happen. We eat lunch with them, we watch them play games, we go to pep rallies, sit in class, help them with their homework. When negative stuff happens, we're there to help correct the situation or establish a way to make it better. But I've noticed a really positive impact in the schools and working alongside with the administrators and teachers.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Deputy Ramirez. I was working here for 8 years, went to Hagerman, did 2 years there as a SRO, came back for 2 years, and now Sheriff Harrington has me doing the SRO, not because he has me doing it, but because I want to do it as well. So I'm excited to get started here in Chavez County and just looking forward to it.
Cool.
So, go ahead.
Rita's waving her hand back there.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, now I'm going to stay standing right here because I'll be tall.
Come on, Rita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Rita Kane Dorhoff for very narrow, unstriped Chicago Cubs mailbox, Mark Road. I want to tell you about your two officers here. They yesterday took on the little darlings at the Boys and Girls Club, and they put them in their place. I'm just saying, if these new recruits are anything like the two that we have there, we're going to take care of things.
All right.
Thank you, Rita.
Glad you had backup.
So tomorrow, I'm sorry, on Monday, we have another deputy starting who's actually certified with us. With that deputy, we would have been fully staffed, but because of some other circumstances, we are now going to be possibly 4, maybe 5 positions down. I have 2 that are looking to go to Artesia PD, one that is looking to go and actually has been hired to be a teacher, and one I let him go, and so some other things on some of the others. But the main thing is we do have qualified and good people that are putting in for these positions. There is no doubt that we will be at the full man position, but as everyone in this room can tell you, especially the jail and the county road and everybody, the moment you think you're about to be there, something happens. So, but we've got the manpower, we've got people in the right places, and with this new group behind me, so proud of them yesterday at the academy. They're going to make us shine. So thank you very much for your time and allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Sheriff Harrington. Thank you for stepping up. At this time, I'm going to ask Miles Cubbers to come up and give us a presentation. Miles, thank you for coming to our meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the commission. I must say before I get started, I felt very safe and secure with the Sheriff's Department all around me over here. I might see if I could ask them to go to the legislature with me come next January. But I appreciate it, and thank you very much for letting me come visit with you. I wanted to talk a little bit about Article 5 of the Constitution and the movement toward a convention of the states under that language. And so to give a little background, a little bit of history, I was asked whether I wanted to bring a PowerPoint or some kind of presentation like that. And I've done a lot of presentations, and I've given a lot of, I've done a lot of those. I've got enough data and images and factoids and mathematics to put everybody in this room asleep. And I thought maybe we'd be better off with just an open discussion. I would like to just informally talk about Article 5 in the convention, and anytime a commissioner or anybody else wants to step in, ask a question or bring a concern, I'd welcome that. But to give a little background, in 1787, when the framers were putting together the Constitution, which, by the way, they did a good job. The United States Constitution is the longest surviving constitution in existence. We don't think about that. We think about ourselves being a young country, but there has not been a constitution that has weathered this many years other than our own. And part of the reason for that is that they made provision for amendments. And as you know, there have been 28 amendments passed, one rescinded over our history, and that has allowed the Constitution to be clarified, strengthened, underpinned, whatever, over those years. But interestingly, back in 1787, September, they had about wrapped it up, and after a long, hot summer of arguments and compromise and discouragement and encouragement and whatnot, everybody was ready to go home, and George Mason, one of the framers, stood up and said, I don't think we're done here yet. And you could probably imagine the groans in the room because it was hot that year. But he said, we've made provisions for amendments, but we've left it up to Congress to be able to do that. What if Congress refuses? What if there's a needed amendment and Congress refuses to act? And so they realized that. They sat back down and in pretty short order wrote in what are two pathways toward amending the Constitution. The one we all learned in school. 2/3 of each chamber of Congress can agree on a proposal. It goes out for ratification by 3/4 of the states, which today would be 38 states. The other, which is actually in the same sentence, provides for the state legislatures to actually petition for a convention. When 2/3 of those states have called for a convention, then Congress has to call it. Congress doesn't have any role other than its own ministerial role, but they are required to call for a convention, name a place, name a time. And then the states come together, all 50, and they actually can develop and propose amendments for ratification by 3/4 of the states the same way. And so that's what's happening right now. There are issues that Congress has refused for decades, maybe generations, to address, and it's causing a corrosion of our own nation's economic security, our own way of life, our own quality of life. But the way that works, as I said, the states can call for convention. When enough of them have called for it, it happens. It's a one state, one vote. All they do is make a proposal that has to be ratified by the states at large. But what we're working on is the call for a convention that would address three areas. One, fiscal restraint on the federal government. I looked just a few minutes ago at the national debt, and we're at $34.9 trillion in debt. And there's not even a hint of an effort by the federal government to slow that down. But that's 122% of our gross national product. It's projected that by 2030, that the national debt will be 200% of the gross national product. We're paying in interest $1 billion a day. There's all kinds of statistics that of just how corrosive and how dangerous and how debilitating that kind of debt is, and yet our federal government doesn't even discuss it. They don't talk about it. They do nothing to address it. We also, and especially here in New Mexico, and especially this part of New Mexico and West, we have plenty of experience with dealing with the relative power and jurisdiction between the federal government and the states, or the federal government and the local governments. I grew up in the ranching business. In fact, old habits are hard to break. I came in the parking lot and tried to see whose pickup had mud on it when I came in here. So some of these things never leave you. But in the ranching business, we've especially when there's public lands involved, there's always been a push and a pull and a battle over the federal overreach. And I know that some of you at least are headed for Littlefield this evening, I think, to talk about a federal 7 million acre land grab. And so that has to be addressed. Congress will not. So a convention will have to, and that's the second of three topics. And the third is term limits. And so to federal term limits, maybe not even on just, every time we say term limits, we think Congress, but there needs to be a discussion also across the board. Term limits in the high levels of bureaucracy. Term limits maybe even over in the judiciary. But it's a topic that needs to be discussed. The only place it's going to get discussed is in a convention that the states themselves called. And so those are the three topics. And those are what would be discussed at a convention. Hopefully proposals would come out. Hopefully those proposals would go out for ratification. It's a tall hill to climb because 38 states is a hard target to meet, but it's supposed to be that way. So anyway, the Convention of States movement is active. 19 states to date have passed resolutions calling for a convention across the country. Several other states are in play. Several other states, there's active legislation in play as we speak. Here in New Mexico, we've worked with this for several years. I've been working on this for several years myself. In fact, when I just realized that when I first started giving talks about about Convention of States and national debt, I was talking about a $19 trillion national debt. And today it's 35. And so things haven't changed. But anyway, 19 states have passed. We have brought legislation a number of times. It even got through the House once. But then a couple of years later, the Speaker caused a rescission of all standing resolutions. And so we'll have to go back and get it cleared through both chambers again. In New Mexico, tough hill to climb, obviously. But this is where the counties come in, I believe. 6 counties since May have passed resolutions urging the New Mexico legislature to make a call for a convention. There are several other counties where we're in discussions, and that's why I'm here today. In New Mexico, there are some 18,000 citizens who have signed a petition calling for a convention. And so this is not a one-off small effort. So why the counties? Why this is a state legislature issue. We've brought it several times. We've been, as you can imagine, in this legislature, we've been slam dunked pretty hard a couple of times. But the reason we're talking to counties is because the county commissions, in a lot of ways, have a different and sometimes closer relationship with the constituency than the legislators do because of districting and all that. You're elected officials. You are trusted by the people for your policies, your attitude toward government, and truthfully, your attitude toward the legislature. And we believe that the legislature has to listen to the counties. In the absolute worst case, even if we can't get it over the top, we would have scared them pretty good if a lot of counties are calling up there and saying, we want to see this convention. And so what I'm hoping is that you all will take the next several days or weeks, consider what it is we're doing and ask all the questions, contact us, whatever, and see if the county, if Chaves County might want to join the ranks of the counties that have passed. I've got a what-if question for you, because we find ourselves often so busy in the weeds working on what is kind of a grassroots movement, that the grassroots movement almost becomes the goal sometimes. But we can back away from that, go get a little altitude and take a look and look at it this way. If you, in your own experience with the federal government, if you were asked by America to draft an amendment that would strengthen our position as citizens or strengthen our position as a state or a county, what would you write? And I know that you can't just sit down and jot that down right here in the afternoon, but it's something to think about. What would your amendment be? But the more important question is, what if you could actually put that on the table, and what if it was actually ratified? And this is the pathway to do that. It's the only pathway to do that, but it's also a very viable pathway to do that. And so if we think about the other end of this process, and we think about what about a term limits amendment, what would we like? Well, that can go on the table, and if it could work its way through the process. What if we drew the line on federal jurisdiction and power by amendment? Then I know, Jeff, you're headed, like I say, you're headed for Texas this evening. I don't know who all else is going, but I grew up in the business, and all my life I have watched people in the ranching industry doing battle with the federal government, a jurisdictional battle. And there have been a few wins, but not many. There have been a lot of draws because everybody's ran out of breath and quit fighting, but there's also been those slight losses where we had to retrench, get back in the fight, but in order to fight for our own livelihood and our own way of life, we can't stop fighting. But what if there was an amendment that clarified those powers that had to be respected by the federal government? How much easier would those battles get? And so that, it's just a thing to think about when we think about whether we want to support and participate in a convention of the states. That's about all I've got. I'd really appreciate questions if anybody's got them. I'll tell you the counties also, I'll tell you that have passed it. So Hidalgo's passed it, Otero's passed it, Colfax, Roosevelt, and most recently this week, Sierra County. And we are in discussions in a number of other counties already. So with that, any questions or concerns?
Thank you, Miles. Anyone have any questions, comments?
Just a comment.
Commissioner Perry.
I very much appreciate your conversation and the things you're doing, and I hope you keep marching down that pathway. I'm sure you're going to get some support.
Thank you. Like my uncle used to say, it's a long fight with a short stick, but you got to fight it.
True.
Do you think including the second on government overreach muddies the waters too much?
Including the what?
The second of your three subjects for the amendments would be government overreach.
For government overreach, it has to be addressed. It has to. It is. It is the basis for so many problems, especially in the western states, that it can't. It may muddy the waters, but it's got to be brought. It's got to be brought forth. It's got to be talked about. And here's something else too. When this happens, this is an entire function of the states themselves. Congress has no role, zero, other than they're required to name a time and place and also name a procedure for the ratification, whether it would be by legislatures or conventions. But other than that, the federal government can't weigh in, and that's been upheld in federal court, and so maybe it muddies things up, but it's got to be talked about. There have to be areas where an amendment would tighten and clarify the relative jurisdictional and power issues between the states and the federal government. And just one other thing too, that we don't think of it sometimes, but as you know, a couple of years ago in Las Vegas, New Mexico, where I grew up, that huge fire up there. Well, that was a fire that was started because it was a controlled burn. And the county people, the local officials and the citizens up there kept trying to get that Forest Service official not to do that because the winds were blowing 60 miles an hour. It was dry, you know the conditions. And they just said, it's been on the books for 2 years, we're going to do it. And they lit it up. And because the county had no jurisdiction over them. They burnt 341,000 acres of some of the best timber in New Mexico. They destroyed a way of life that had been up there, a culture that had been up there for 300 years. And that sometimes we don't think about that, but that's also a jurisdictional issue, that the federal government, the Forest Service, or the BLM in these counties should consider themselves citizens of the county with the same responsibilities that the people in this room have, or guests of the county even. There has to be something that does not allow them to just roll over the rest of the state. We don't know what those amendments are going to look like. We don't know what the wording would be, what the gist would be, where the weight would be thrown, but we can believe that there are 50 responsible states that are working toward, something reasonable and something right. And the other thing too that's very important to keep in mind is that, one of the big criticisms is the fear of a runaway convention, the fear of pulling a convention together that would dismantle the Constitution or do away with the rights we have or all that. None of that can happen within these three topics because they're not germane. For example, because it's been brought up by the same people who hate guns, but they say you're going to lose the Second Amendment. It's something like that. If it was to come up, or there's any number of other things, it's considered not germane. The chairman would rule it out, or the floor would call a point of order, or a judge would enjoin it. But it would not, if it's not in this area, then it wouldn't happen. So there, the critics of a convention, their biggest argument is a fear of the unknown. But the truth of the matter is, it's a fear of the known, because they know if there's a convention that there are things that are going to be proposed that place limitations on the federal government, and the people who are so against us, they drink at the same trough as the rest of them up here in Washington, D.C., and they do not want limitations on the federal government. And so that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing among the opposition. And they're pretty strident. I mean, they're tough. That's why we're having a tough time getting it through the legislature. Long answer to a short question. I apologize.
No problem. The 19 states that have already acted, have they all acted on the same three topics?
Yes, that's very important, is that in order for this to work, in order for this to be a convention that was called, then the purpose of the convention has to be consistent. And so that language in every resolution is exactly the same. Fiscal restraint, power and jurisdiction of the federal government, term limits. Yeah, if it's not in there, then it can't be counted in as one of the states calling for the convention.
Well, and the only reason that I express a concern about topic number 2 on overreach, because if you had an amendment that was ratified by 3/4 of the states that said the government or no agency thereof shall overreach their authority, then it goes right back to the courts to define what overreaching their authority is.
It'd have to be way better discern. Yeah, it'd have to be defined.
And we have made so much progress recently in advocating what separation of powers really means, and especially with the overturn of the Chevron deference. I would hate for that to be a topic for a new amendment to swing the pendulum back the other way.
You're exactly right. And that's why an amendment, we would expect an amendment to be pretty specific as to what, rather than just sort of generally, speaking of general overreach, there would have to be something specific that boxes the federal government into a certain mode of behavior. And the other thing too is, because these are all going to be thinking, they're going to be leaders in the country, they're going to be intelligent thinking people, we can expect that. That those are the kinds of things they'll think of it. And it's not impossible that some of these topics end up at the end of the convention without a recommendation. We don't know. We don't know.
Okay. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Miles, thank you very much.
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. I really enjoyed watching a very happy county commission, they're kind of a breath of fresh air sometimes. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Miles. We appreciate you. Okay, Commissioners, we'll move on to agenda item number 1.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Mr. Chairman. I have agenda item number 1 through 7, so bear with me. Starting with number 1, requesting ratification of approval for agreement A-23-045 between Chavez County and New Mexico Department of Finance and Administration for amendment number 1, appropriation 23-ZH5053-9. Amendment number 1 extends the revert date of this grant agreement 23-ZH5053-9 for the Cultural Plaza project for 2 more years. The new reversion date is June 30th, 2026. Staff recommends approval.
That one's easy, Mr. Chairman. I move ratification to approve amendment number 1 on appropriation 23-ZH5053-9 between the county and DFA.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Dana for approval of agreement A-23-045. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Agenda item number 2, requesting ratification of approval for agreement A-24-032 between Chavez County and Aging and Long-Term Services Department for appropriation A-23H2063-8 in the amount of $99,464.55. This is a statewide emergency funding grant agreement for the purpose to provide a code-compliant fire alarm system to the Roswell Joyce Center Senior Center in the amount of $99,464.55. Staff recommends approval.
Mr. Chairman, Annabelle, is this the letter that Monaco received and it was put to them instead of us? Is this part of that?
Yes, but that was already corrected with the Chavez County fiscal agent and the correct name.
Okay, so we're approving, the money's there now.
Yes.
We did not lose that.
Oh, no.
No, we did not lose it.
Okay.
Once approved and executed, we'll go ahead and be able to move forward with that.
Okay, and will Chavez County go out for RFP on this, or does the Joyce Center go out for RFP?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Dana, we are fiscally responsible for the procurement. However, I think it was through Johnson Control and RMI, but I believe they were on
Johnson Controls on a New Mexico state price agreement, so we're able to go with them directly.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Dana, but it is administered through Chavez County. They're responsible for getting the work done, all that, but yes, we do have oversight and control in that.
Good, thank you.
I'd entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Taylor.
I move approval of agreement A-24-032 between Chavez County and Aging and Long-Term Service Department for appropriation of A-23H2068-8 in the amount of $99,464.55.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Taylor, second by Commissioner Perry for approval of agreement A-24-032. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Agenda item number 3, requesting ratification of approval for agreement A-24-033 between Chavez County and New Mexico DFA for appropriation 24-I-2A72 in the amount of $225,000. This is a capital outlay grant agreement for appropriation 24-I-2A72 in the amount of $225,000 for the Pecos Valley Regional Communications Center project. Staff recommends approval.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of agreement A-24-033 between the county and the DFA for appropriation 24I-2872 in the amount of $225,000.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Taylor for approval of agreement A-24-033. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Agenda item number 4, requesting ratification of approval for agreement A-24-034 between Chaves County and New Mexico Department of Finance and Administration for appropriation 24-I-2A71 in the amount of $590,000. This is a capital outlay grant agreement for appropriation 24-I-2A71 in the amount of $590,000 for the Chaves County Cooperative Extension Building renovation. Staff recommends approval.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of agreement A-24-034 between Chaves County and DFA for appropriation 24-I-2871 in the amount of $590,000.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Taylor for approval of agreement A-24-034. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Agenda item number 5, requesting ratification of approval for agreement A-24-035 between Chaves County and New Mexico Department of Finance and Administration for appropriation 24-I-3024 in the amount of $300,000. This grant agreement is for the to purchase and equip fully accessible vans for the Southeast New Mexico Veterans Transportation Network in the amount of $300,000. Staff recommends approval.
Was that 3 vans or 2? How many vans?
We don't know yet.
I was wondering.
Anna?
We're gonna try for 3, I think, but we're gonna have to put it out to bid, so we won't know until the bids come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Taylor.
I move approval of agreement A-24-035 between Chaves County and New Mexico DFA for the appropriation 24-I-3024 in the amount of $300,000.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Taylor, second by Commissioner Ezell for approval of agreement A-24-035. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Agenda item number 6, requesting ratification of approval for agreement A-24-036 between Chaves County and New Mexico Department of Finance and Administration for appropriation 24-I-2A73 in the amount of $270,000. This is a capital outlay grant agreement for appropriation 24-I-2A73 in the amount of $270,000 for the St. Mary's Complex parking lot renovations. Staff recommends approval.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Taylor.
I move approval of agreement A-24-036 between Chaves County and the New Mexico Department of Finance and Administration for the appropriation of 24-I-2873 in the amount of $270,000.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Taylor, second by Commissioner Ezell for approval of agreement A-24-036. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Last one, agenda item number 7, requesting ratification of approval for agreement A-24-037 between Chaves County and New Mexico Department of Finance and Administration for appropriation 24-I-4050 in the amount of $1,963,022.90. This grant agreement is a reauthorization for an extension of 2 years. The new revert date is June 30th, 2026 for the industrial site utility and infrastructure improvement project. Staff recommends approval.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the industrial site utility and infrastructure improvement project?
This appropriation, it's the one with the $5 million that we have with the city of Roswell. This appropriation reverted this year. We requested a reauthorization, which we were approved of. That gives us 2 more years to fully spend the appropriation.
Okay, and this is the airport project?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Commissioner, I'd also like to point out that normally we don't encounter reversion problems because the county spends their money wisely and we facilitate these contracts and things quickly and efficiently. The situation here was that portion of money was committed to the Ascent project, which stalled, so those monies were kind of in limbo for quite some time. They were reverted back to the original project, which was the water line. So normally we don't have monies going back, and just wanted to clarify that the only reason that our staff that does a wonderful job of making sure monies are accounted for and spent appropriately, they've done their job again, and just want to thank them for that, and this is kind of beyond our control. So just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. On that note, I move that we approve Agreement A-24-037 between Chaves County and New Mexico Department of Finance and Administration for appropriation 24-I-4050 in the amount of $1,963,022.90.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dan, second by Commissioner Ezell for approval, Agreement A-24-037. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Page 73, everybody.
Flippity, flippity, flippity,
Okay.
flippity. My thumb's getting tired.
Agenda item number 8, Agreement A-24-038.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Agenda item number 8 is Agreement A-24038 between Chaves County and Roswell Chaves County Economic Development Corporation for professional, industrial, and economic developmental services. The Commission awarded $200,000 for the initial term of this agreement for economic development as outlined in Exhibit A. Scope of work, agreement number A-24038 is the contract for these services, and staff recommends approval.
Chairman, if I could, and Vice Chair, I would like to go on the record stating I would like to abstain from this one because my wife is on the path of gaining employment or looking at employment with the Roswell Chaves County Economic Development Corporation, so I'm going to stay out of this one.
Okay, duly noted. Thank you, Commissioner Perry. Commissioners?
Mr. Chair, I move approval of Agreement A-24-038 between the county and the Roswell Chaves County Economic Development Corporation for their contract in the amount of $200,000.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Taylor for approval of Agreement A-24-038. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Commissioner Perry is abstained. Okay, agenda item number 9.
Agenda item number 9 is Agreement A-24-039 between Chaves County and Roswell Chamber of Commerce for business retention services. The Commission awarded $25,000 for the initial term of this agreement for economic development as outlined in Exhibit A, Scope of Work. Agreement A-24-039 is the contract agreement for these services, and staff recommends approval.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Taylor.
I move approval of Agreement A-24-039 between Chaves County and the Roswell Chamber of Commerce for business retention services in the amount of $25,000.
Second.
Go ahead.
Commissioner Taylor, motion by Commissioner Taylor, second by Commissioner Perry, correct? Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
For approval of Agreement A-24-039. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And item number 10.
Number 10 is Agreement A-24-040. It's the lease for 1600 Southeast Main Street, Suites F and B, This lease is between Chaves County and Dr. Donald Wenner III for the lease of the property located at 1600 Southeast Main Street. Staff recommends approval.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Agreement A-24-040 for the lease for 1600 Southeast Main Suites F and B.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dana, second by Commissioner Ezell for approval of Agreement A-24-040. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 11.
Okay, number 11 is Agreement A-24-044. It's the lease for 1010 South Garden. This lease is between Chaves County and La Casa for the lease of the building located at 1010 South Garden. Staff recommends approval.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Taylor.
I move approval of Agreement A-24-044, lease for 1010 South Garden with La Casa.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Taylor, second by Commissioner Perry for approval of Agreement A-24-044. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And item number 12. Does anybody need to catch up?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Agenda item number 12 is Resolution R-24-025, a polling place change for the 2024 general election and the 2025 regular local election from the Roswell Museum located at 100 West 11th Street, Roswell, New Mexico, to the Roswell Convention Center, Convention and Civic Center located at 912 North Main in Roswell. Staff believes this location will better serve the voters of Chaves County and is already ADA compliant.
Mr. Chairman and Cindy, since this is a City of Roswell building, are they charging us?
They did not for the primary.
Okay. So we don't know yet?
I don't believe they're going to charge us. We may have to pay for internet, but I don't believe they're going to charge for the use of the building.
Okay, good. Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept Resolution R-24-025, polling place change for the 2024 general election and the 2025 regular local election from the Roswell Museum and Arts Center to the Roswell Convention and Civic Center.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dana, second by Commissioner Taylor for approval of Resolution R-24-025. All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
But Madam Clerk, I will have to admit that I got all excited when I saw the agenda because I thought maybe we were going back to Duncan.
I'm sorry, sir, we are not.
There's always hope.
I've only got 6 months left.
Really? 6 more months
Still
to
getting
lobby.
phone calls, are you?
He's going to
Nasty
keep
letters.
lobbying, Cindy, so.
Agenda item number 13.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and County Commissioners. Agenda item number 13 is Resolution R-24-027, fixed asset inventory. The new asset listing attached as a link is as June 30th, 2024 for all Chaves County capital fixed assets. Staff recommends approval.
So instead of an attachment that was too small to read, you gave us a link we can't open.
It should open.
Mine won't.
I had to hit mine twice to get it to go. Bump, bump.
I'm not even going to try.
Didn't work on his.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try.
Siri, open my attachment.
Yeah, it's going to take a while.
164 pages.
Yeah, it'll take a while.
Will Commissioner Dana, will you shop on your own time then?
I am.
Okay.
I will.
Are you looking right now?
No, no. I'm going to wait. Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept Resolution R-24-027, Fixed Asset Inventory.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Danis, second by Commissioner Ezell to approve Resolution R-24-027. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 14.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. Agenda item number 14 is Resolution R-24-028, accepting the 2024-2025 NMDOT Local Government Road Fund County Arterial Program, or CAP. The action requested is for approving the resolution and accompanying agreement. This local government road fund offer from the New Mexico Department of Transportation for a single chip penetration chip seal on approximately about 19.26 miles of county roads. The work cost shared will be as follows: NMDOT $280,184. Our portion would be $93,395 for a total of $373,579. Upon this approval of this resolution and agreement, the NMDOT will execute and create the cooperative agreement. Staff recommends approval.
Is that what you asked for, Joe? Yes. Mr. Chairman, I move approval of Resolution R-24-028, accepting the 2425 LRGT program.
LGRF.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Taylor for approval of Resolution R-24-028. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Agenda item number 15 is Resolution R-24-029, accepting the 2024-2025 NMDOT LGRF Cooperative Program Agreement. Once again, we want to approve the resolution and accompanying agreement. This LGRF offer from the NMDOT is again for single penetration chip seal of approximately 12.05 miles of county roads. The cost sharing breaks down as follows: NMDOT's portion is $167,855. Chaves County's portion is $55,952, totaling the project at $223,807. Upon approval, once again, the DOT will execute and create the agreement, and staff recommends approval.
Why do two LRGFs have to be in separate agreements when they could all just be in one?
There are three separate agreements given by the DOT. The first one is
Okay.
CAP, or County Arterial. I have three up today for commission. The second is a cooperative, the co-op, and then the third will be a school bus program. So three separate pots of funding sources.
Okay.
Cool.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of Resolution R-24029, accepting the 2425 LRGF Cooperative Program for 12.05 miles of county roads, and with a total project cost of $223,807.
Mr. Chairman, point of clarification, does that include the agreement that goes with it, A24-042? You're approving the resolution.
Approving the resolution and an agreement.
And the
Yeah,
agreement.
it doesn't have the agreement number on the agenda.
A-24-042.
There it is. And agreement number A-24-042.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you, Stan.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Taylor for approval of Resolution R-24-029 and Agreement A-24-042. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chairman, did you do that on agenda item 14, did we approve the agreement also?
I believe we
When
did.
you read it back, I heard it when he read it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did.
So, took it for granted the second.
Thank you for the clarification, Stan.
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. And lastly, for me, is agenda item 16. It is Resolution R-24-030, accepting the 2024-2025 NMDOT LGRF School Bus Program Fund. And again, the action requested would be to approve the resolution and accompanying agreement A-24-043. This is again for single penetration chip seal on up to 19 miles of roadway. And the cost sharing breaks down as follows. DOT's portion is $233,895. Chaves County's portion is $77,965, for totaling the project at $311,860. And once again, upon acceptance of the resolution and the agreement, the DOT will execute the cooperative agreement, and staff recommends approval.
Mr. Chairman, Joe, we haven't seen this. And it seems like we've had some issues with this fund lately.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Yes, Commissioner Dana, the school bus has been off and on since COVID started. The first year we didn't get it, so I assumed that it was due to the fact the school buses weren't running because school wasn't in session. Then the following year we did get it. The year after that we did not, and this year we did again. So Alex and I both discussed it with the DOT officials, and from my understanding, it was the amount we were requesting, or I was requesting, exceeded what they would be willing to offer to the county. So I cut back on that, and we got it this year. So I don't know. For the 20 years I've been doing this, this is the first few years that we've ever had this problem.
Right.
So I couldn't really say.
And this was the amount that you requested this year, the
Actually, that's
77,000?
considerably more than what I intentionally
Oh.
requested, so there's a story behind that. But we came out looking pretty good. Excuse me?
So we're just,
Yes.
we're
It's
playing
a
the
good
game.
number.
And the ball is in their court, I guess.
And it's been that way for the last two times after the years that we received it, after the years that we didn't. We've got more than we did on our cap. Historically, cap, co-op, and school bus, it's that order of the amount of funding. School bus being the least and cap being the most.
Right.
So you can see if you look on the agreements, cap and school bus this year are pretty equal. 2 years ago, they were the same. They were pretty close to being the same.
Cool. Well, that's great. Thank you. I'm glad we got it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of Resolution R-24-030 and Agreement A-24043.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Dana for approval of Resolution R-24-030 and Agreement A-24-043. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 17.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I know everyone was in line. I'm not cutting Miss Chanel Ray. She actually regrets not being able to be here this morning, but she had some unforeseen circumstances. But she did do all the hard work behind this financial report, and it's been a pleasure really working with her. Agenda item number 17 is Resolution R-24-031, which is the approval of the 2024 final quarter financial report. The New Mexico Department of Finance and Administration requires that the fourth quarter be presented to the governing body and be approved as of June 30th, 2024. The reports behind this resolution gives you the final cash by fund for that fiscal year. Staff recommends approval.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve Resolution R-24031, which approves the 2024 fourth quarter financial report.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Taylor for approval of resolution R-24-031. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
18.
And before I do jump to that agenda item, I wanted to give a quick recap of fiscal year 2024's end-of-year activity. Now that all the activity is now recorded, but it's still being audited, of course. We haven't officially closed the books, but I did want to allude to you of some of the items. For example, the gross receipts activity. This year, we did have a 6% increase of actual activity in businesses compared to last fiscal year. I did inquire some questions to the Taxation and Revenue Department about some of those. I was mentioning to the Finance Committee that apparently some of the businesses get audited at times. And if they haven't been paying their gross receipts correctly, they will have them pay 3 years of those gross receipts that they haven't paid. So at times we see a little bit of those increases on those months. It truly is, activity has been up, but also there's been a lot of auditing apparently by the Taxation and Revenue Department as well. We did have a positive gross receipts budget variance of 3.7, which is great. Some of those major increases of categories came from retail trade, the wholesale trade, and as I've mentioned before, it's a lot due to the online sales and the construction. So those are very great things, showing good economic development within our county. And so for fiscal year 25's gross receipt budget, it's going to be at $17 million based off of those trends. Now, some unexpected increases in expenses that we did have to face this past fiscal year is a 10% health insurance increase that was mandated by the state by January 1st. Also, the vehicle liability and property insurance increase. We had seen a 51% in our general insurance increase. It was a very big jump, as well as 16% in law enforcement. Also, another struggle for Alex and for Anna especially is the increased bid amounts that have been coming in. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of interested contractors, so that's also a struggle that we've been having to face and trying to conquer to find more contractors to bid in for our projects. But they've been doing a great job trying to get that interest back into Chaves County. As you all know, inflated costs also, especially in supplies, we've been seeing that a lot as well. Some end of fiscal year concerns. We did have a positive budget variance in some of the departments. However, it can be a concern at times. For example, for the road department, and I know this is Joe's headache. Right now, there's been a lot of overturn in staffing. We're trying to have an incentive program like the CDL program. I know Alex and Joe have been working on, and you'll hear from Emma today trying to get permission to advertise for that change in the ordinance for personnel. And also the anticipated capital adequacy insurance. So for Chaves County, that was $479,000, and we have to pay that over 3 years. So we already received the first bill yesterday for that. And so that's something that we've been concerned about in regards to insurance increases, trying to find solutions, to having discussions with our finance committee about that, because it's gone up quite substantially. And so I just wanted to give a quick recap with that. We did do a review of the end of year budget by fund, and so that takes me to agenda item number 18, which is resolution R-24-032. It is a budget adjustment for line items in Exhibit A behind the resolution. And this budget adjustment is for the network upgrade equipment that was needed by Chaves County's Information Technology Department. And this project was paid out of the American Rescue Plan Act funds, which are federal funds. And staff does request approval of resolution R-24-032.
Mr. Chairman, Annabelle, the American Rescue Plan Act, is this the last of it?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Dana, no, this is not the last of it. We have some other projects pending.
Okay.
For fiscal year 25, we have Pine Lodge budgeted under that specific federal grant. We also are anticipating Red Bridge project as well to be using federal funds with that. The grant itself does not revert until 2026.
Oh,
so
okay.
once we fully spend the money before 2026 or by 2026, we'll be using that fund.
Okay, I was thinking it was 2025. Okay, good, fantastic. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Taylor.
I move approval of the resolution R-24-033 24-3032, budget adjustment resolution for fiscal year 2024.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Taylor, second by Commissioner Ezell for approval of Resolution R-24-032. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. I also have the next agenda item. I just wanted to kind of point out, there's a handout that I had next to the agenda that Jessica put out for the public and also placed one in front of you. It's on the agenda as well, but this is a final budget in brief. This is really just a quick tool, a quick handout for you to see the major points for fiscal year 2025's budget. It has a little bit of history on the side for the public to understand Chaves County, and in case Bill ever has trivia questions again, they know when exactly it was funded. The general operating budget. Now, I think a lot of citizens are confused between general operating budget and the all funds budget. General operating is the budget for the actual elected officials or for your departments that do services for our community, like road, our administrative offices, like our HR, our purchasing, our planning and zoning. So the general operating budget for this year will be $41.15 million. Now, the all funds is for everything that we're fiscally responsible for, and I know Commissioner Dana had asked about that appropriation for the Joy Center. So these are the items that are under the all funds budget for, you know, the DWI grant, the flood control, even for our veterans like you approved for the vehicles. All of that is part of the all funds, including the general operating budget. So that encompasses everything that you as a board are fiscally responsible for and will be approving ultimately today. And that is in the amount of $76.4 million for this fiscal year. And so there's also some other quick facts on the bottom about how much gross receipts we're anticipating of receiving, even our property tax. One thing that I would like to commend to you all is since 2014, there was 1 mil lowered of property tax, and we've been able to operate without having to increase that. So we still have lowered property taxes since then, and you've all done a great job of doing that. And so I also kind of broke down, where does the Chaves County Citizens Dollar go? And so here it's broken out by public safety, public works, general government, and then further breaks it down, public safety with the sheriff's office. How many cents of that just comes out of your dollar? So 18 cents for every dollar you pay helps the sheriffs operate. As well as the detention center, it's 27 cents out of your dollar. So I think that kind of is a better language and numbers for our citizens to help them understand that. And then behind the page is also the other items that were approved, mostly in the interim budget for our internal capital outlay, like the clerk's truck, planning and zoning's cleaning up of 14 properties that we anticipate for the fiscal year, et cetera. So here it really just kind of gives a quick brief. Major points. This is going to be posted as well online for everyone to see. This is a great tool if anyone wants to keep it in their pocket, and if you ever get questioned, then you can pull it out. I think this will be a great tool for you all. But with that quick snapshot of the final budget, I am going to present the final budget. Interim budget was approved in May. That was already 98% of that. However, for final budget, we have some changes. For example, the road projects that you just heard, items that had to be carried over to the new fiscal year. So it was an increase of $2.1 million from the interim of expenses, and as well as increased revenue of $681,000. And with that, I present to you agenda item number 19, Resolution R-24-033, which is the approval of fiscal year 2024-2025 final budget. Attached for your approval is the budget recap for this fiscal year. The budget includes the actual unaudited beginning cash balances, and the total expenditure for fiscal year 25 is $76,399,288. Staff requests approval of Resolution R-24-033.
Mr. Chairman, Annabelle, thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
This is fantastic, because we are, I don't know about the other commissioners, but I do get questions from constituents. what do you do with my money? So
Yes,
I love
yes.
this. This is fantastic. And you will be putting it up on our website?
Yes, it will go up on our website as well. On our finance page, we'll have the full budget. It'll have the recaps that are attached to the resolution, but that will be probably one of the primary pictures for everyone to see.
I like that. Thank you. Thank you,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Chairman.
Thank you, Annabelle.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Taylor?
I move approval of Resolution R-24-033, approval of the fiscal year 24-25 final budget.
Second.
In the amount of $76,389,288.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Taylor and a double second by Commissioner Ezell for approval of Resolution R-24-033. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you,
Thank
Annabelle.
you.
Thank you for the Finance Committee and all your hard work. Okay, agenda item number 20.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Agenda item number 20, Resolution R-24-35, accepting a cooperative agreement between Chaves County Flood Control and USDA NRCS. Chaves County Flood Control wishes to enter into a cooperative agreement with the United States Department of Agricultural, Natural Resources Conservation Service. This agreement would allow flood control to complete a $3,727,935.23 erosion control watershed protection project. There's a 25% price match for flood control of $931,983.81. Chaves County Flood Control shall be responsible for the 25% share through state appropriations or internal fund money, and shall be responsible if they exceed the total amount. The USDA NRCS share would be $2,795,951.42. Additionally, staff is requesting that Chaves County Flood Control Superintendent Brian Hotelin be allowed to sign the agreement and other documents pursuant to all Chaves County rules, regulations, and SOPs for procurement, purchasing, and grant reporting and processing. Staff recommends approval.
Commissioners, any questions for Brian?
Is this all macho?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
When's the expected completion of this project?
We're a little over a year out still.
It's going okay so far?
Everything's going well. We're gonna have one rain day so far, but it's nothing major.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of Resolution R-24035, accepting the agreement between Chaves County Flood Control and USDA NRCS. And I also move that we authorize Superintendent Hotelling to be authorized to execute all necessary documents.
I second.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Perry for approval of Resolution R-24-035. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 21 is for Resolution R-24036, which is opposition to the expansion of the Muleshoe National Wildlife Refuge. This resolution opposes the proposed land protection plan and environmental assessment for the Muleshoe National Wildlife Refuge, which would establish an acquisition boundary of 7 million acres in several Texas and New Mexico counties, including Chaves County. There was no appropriate communication or notice with the landowners, citizens, county, or state elected officials. Most entities learned of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's plans in June of 2024 after the completion of the plan. Staff recommends approval of Resolution R-24036, and with your permission, I would read that, sir.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Thank you. R-24036, resolution opposing the proposed land protection plan and environmental assessment for the Muleshoe National Wildlife Refuge. Whereas Chaves County is a legal and political subdivision of the state of New Mexico for which the Board of County Commissioners is authorized to act, And whereas Chaves County contains approximately 3,881,600 acres of land in southeastern New Mexico, the federal government lays claim to at least 1,216,379 acres, 31.33% of land within the county's jurisdiction. And whereas the health, safety, welfare, economic condition, and culture of the county, its businesses, and its citizens depend upon private land ownership and the use of the resources within the county. And whereas the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, USFWS, has prepared a Land Protection Plan, LPP, an environmental assessment with the intent of establishing an acquisition boundary, also referred to as a conservation partnership area, for Muleshoe National Refuge, Wildlife Refuge within the jurisdiction of several Texas and New Mexico counties, including Chaves County. And whereas many of Chaves County's businesses and citizens are involved in or otherwise depend on industries that utilize private lands and their resources, including but not limited to agricultural crop production, electrical production and plants, oil and gas exploration and production, livestock grazing, recreational development, hunting, fishing, and other outdoor recreation. And whereas these industries are important components of Chaves County and the state of New Mexico economies and are major contributors to the economic and social well-being of the county and its citizens. And whereas the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service claims in March of 2022 they distributed an informal scoping pamphlet by mail and electronically inviting input, questions, and feedback on the development of the LPP, claiming the feedback from local landowners and stakeholders was uniformly positive and seeking clarification on how the process works and indicated eagerness to participate if the plan is finalized. And whereas the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service prepared and issued the Land Protection Plan and Environmental Assessment for the Muleshoe Wildlife Refuge in February 2023, but failed to provide notice or include Chaves County in any of their planning processes. And whereas most landowners, citizens, and Chaves County officials were first informed of the completed LPP in June of 2024. And whereas the service is proposing a 7 million acre acquisition boundary for the LPP for the Muleshoe and Gruya National Wildlife Refuges in West Texas and eastern New Mexico, called the Conservation Partnership Area. Whereas within the 7 million acre footprint, the service desires to acquire 700,000 acres in fee title or conservation easements in perpetuity. There are undetermined number of acres in Chaves County designated in the LPP as priority area, and whereas the total number of acres that are included within specific Texas and New Mexico counties are unknown, and the economic impact to the area is uncertain since the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has failed to provide any maps showing the actual boundaries of the intended acquisitions. And whereas counties in Texas and New Mexico have no way of knowing how many acres of land the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service intends to directly acquire or dictate usage of, because they never provided notice or coordinated its plans with the counties. And whereas conservation easements in perpetuity reduce the tax value of the land by an average of 40%, and federal lands are exempt from taxation. And whereas payments made to counties through payments in lieu of taxes are drastically lower than property taxes imposed upon private landowners, and consistent payments are not made to counties by the federal government. And whereas lands held in conservation restrict or eliminate the productive uses from the land that fuel the local economy supporting our schools, hospitals, emergency services, roads, and other necessary services. And whereas although no parcels of land have been acquired, once approved, the service will require a separate consultation under Section 7 of the Endangered Species Act for each potential parcel, adding a tremendous burden to the citizens of Chaves County and additional losses to the county. And whereas conservation easements held by the refuge will be enforced by federal wildlife officers, and landowners will be subject to civil or criminal charges, and these agreements will encroach upon Chaves County law enforcement authority. And whereas the LPP is considered by the service as fulfilling President Biden's America the Beautiful plan, better known as the 30 by 30 land grab, and will be administered under the National Wildlife Refuge System. And whereas the LPP will increase federal holdings within the jurisdiction of Chaves County, reducing the number of acres of private property, thereby reducing the tax base which funds our schools, hospitals, roads, law enforcement, water conservation districts, and other public infrastructure. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Chaves County, New Mexico as follows. Number one, Chaves County finds the creation of the Conservation Partnership Area, expanding the Muleshoe National Wildlife Refuge is in conflict with the Chaves County policies and objectives as described in the Chaves County Comprehensive Plan, and it will result in substantial loss of private property and economic security. Number two, Chaves County finds that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service failed to provide notice and coordinate the land protection plan and emergency assessment for the Muleshoe National Wildlife Refuge with the county. Number three, Chaves County directs all county agencies and departments to withhold all approvals, permits, funding, or other permissions that may be required for the service to acquire or manage fee title lands or an interest in lands such as conservation easement within the county until such time as the U.S. Fish and Wildlife coordinates the LPP with the county to the satisfaction of the county. Chaves County perceives, number four, Chaves County perceives this as nothing more than another attempted federal agency overreach to fulfill the goals of the 30 by 30 land grab, which was rebranded as America the Beautiful. Now therefore be it further resolved, the Board of Chaves County Commissioners shall send a copy of this resolution to New Mexico Game and Fish, Texas Parks and Wildlife, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and our state and federal legislative officials. Done this 25th day of July, 2024 at Roswell, Chaves County, New Mexico by the Board of Chaves County Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Commissioners, any comments or questions?
Great
Chairman,
job
I'd
on the
just like to
resolution.
thank Bill for putting all that on one
Yeah.
document and putting that together. That's no easy task, putting all those elements into one pen. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ezell, did you have a comment?
Just the same. Great job,
Yeah,
Bill.
outstanding.
Thank you.
And with that, I would move to approve resolution R-24-036, opposing the expansion of the Muleshoe National Wildlife Area to establish acquisition boundary of 700,000 acres in several Texas and New Mexico counties, including Chaves County.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Perry, second by Commissioner Ezell, to approval of resolution R-24-036. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 22.
Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners. Item number 22 is an award recommendation for RFP 25-01 Inmate Medical Services to Roadrunner Health Services. Chaves County received 2 proposals in response to our Inmate Medical Service RFP. Both proposals were considered responsive to required documentation and submittals and were passed on to an evaluation committee. The evaluation committee conducted reviews of both proposals and has recommended an award to Roadrunner Health Services. If approved for an award, an agreement will be on the agenda for consideration at the August commission meeting, and staff recommends approval.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I move we award recommendation for RFP-25-01 Inmate Medical Services to Roadrunner Health Services, Inc.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dana, second by Commissioner Ezell for approval of the RFP-25-01. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Other business. That's you, Bill.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this request is requesting approval for out-of-state travel for Michael Briscoe, who attended the decriminalizing mental illness meeting held in Miami, Florida on June the 12th through the June the 14th of 2024. Chairman Bill Berry gave his telephonic approval for the travel as well as for the use of his signature stamp, and I would request at this time that the complete Board of Commissioners ratify that signature for his out-of-state travel. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move the request for out-of-state travel be approved for Michael Briscoe, who attended the decriminalization of mental illness meeting held in Miami, Florida on June 12th through June 14th, 2024. And I want it noted that I had nothing to do with the crazy weather you went through. That wasn't my idea. You'll have to talk to Mother Nature on that one.
I second.
Motion by Commissioner Dana, second by Commissioner Perry for approval of the request of out-of-state travel. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? There was an aye back in the corner. Agenda item number 24.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. Agenda item 24, I bring before you a request from Berindo Co-op Water Users Association, Inc. To waive the road cut fee. The Chaves County right-of-way use permit ordinance requires that road pavement excavations in excess of 24 inches be approved by the Chaves County Board of Commissioners. Normally, this would be done prior to an excavation. However, on January 8th, 2024, Berindo Co-op Water Users Association, Inc. was forced to perform emergency repairs to a ruptured water line. This line at 108 Sacaton and Grandma Roads required emergency repair and required approximately 60 square feet of road cut, resulting in a $2,040 fee. The road was repaired as per ordinance number 44 requirements and were inspected by Chaves County Road Department, Angelo Goudelet. Berindo Water Co-op has a franchise agreement with Chaves County, and they provide a valuable service to the residents of Chaves County. Staff recommends the waiver approval.
Commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, Joe, are they still doing pretty good about doing this? I mean, okay. Just want to make sure. I know in years past we haven't had any problems, so, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that we waive the road cut fee for Berindo Cooperative Water Users Association.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Day, second by Commissioner Perry to waive the road cut fee for Berindo Cooperative Water Users Association. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Agenda item number 25.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. I am requesting permission to publish for updates to Ordinance Number 8, which is our Chaves County Personnel Policy. This request to publish for a public hearing to be held on August 15th, 2024 at 9 a.m. to amend Ordinance Number 8, creating revision number 23. These revisions, if approved, would update Ordinance Number 8, revision number 23, referred to as the Chaves County Personnel Policy. The revisions would update and clarify multiple areas of the policy. Staff recommends approval.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Taylor.
I move approval permission to publish for updates to the ordinance number 8, Chaves County Personnel Policy.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Taylor, second by Commissioner Ezell to approve permission to publish for updates on ordinance number 8 of Chaves County Personnel Policy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Sheriff Harrington.
All right. Chairman, Commissioners, I'm here today to request approval of out-of-state travel for my school resource officer to Orlando, Florida for the 2024 National School Safety Conference. This conference is from July the 27th, 2024 to August 3rd of 2024 for Olivia Padilla to attend the 2024 National School Safety Conference for SROs. This training, along with airline travel and per diem, was paid for by the Roswell Independent School District as a reimbursement agreement to the deputy attending school resource officer school. No cost was charged to the county other than, or will be charged to the county, other than her normal salary for classroom time and travel.
Commissioners.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval for out-of-state travel to Orlando, Florida for the 2024 National School Safety Conference for the SRO safety coordinator.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Taylor, second by Commissioner Ezell for approval of request of out-of-state travel with the 2024 National School Safety Conference. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 27.
All right, Chairman, Commissioners, I'm here to ask for ratification of the out-of-state travel to the Nazrul School Safety Conference that was in Phoenix, Arizona. This was on July the 13th, 2024 to July 20th, 2024 for Olivia Padilla. One of the things that I just wanted you to know is that a lot of these conferences come up like quickly, and especially whenever the school district is trying to pay for it, they have to get things approved. We don't know if it's going to happen or not until they get everything done. Just so you know, that's one of the reasons that these ratifications have to be done for us. So, but this was to the National School Safety Conference for the school resource officer. This training, along with the travel expense and per diem, was paid for by the Roswell Independent School District as a reimbursement agreement to the deputy attending the school resource officer school. No cost was charged to the county other than her normal salary for classroom time and travel.
Mr. Chairman, I move we ratify the out-of-state travel for Officer Padilla to go to the NASRO conference.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ezell, second by Commissioner Perry for ratification, approval of ratification of out-of-state travel. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 28.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, agenda item number 28 is a request to enter into an agreement, an MOU, with the City of Roswell allowing the pooling of opioid settlement funds and to set up an advisory committee to advise the county on the most effective way to utilize the funds. Additionally, the request is for the county manager to sign the agreement on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. And I would stand for questions. I know there are several questions, including the recent requirement that we provide medically assisted treatment at the jail and those costs associated with that. And Annabelle has the information on that, plus this program on how the funds can be spent. So I believe we can answer your questions if you should have any.
Go ahead. Do you want, go ahead, answer that question, and I'll kind of give some background in this too.
Sure. Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Dana, the National Opioid Abatement Settlement started in 2022. And so we have received some allocations from that settlement as well as the City of Roswell. So far, between the county and the city, we have received $3.1 million. And so the city's portion is $1.7 million year to date,
Mr. Chairman, one of the reasons why we decided, kind of have been talking about entering in the MOU with the city of Roswell is we have been working with the city of Roswell, myself and several others, on ways to come up with some jail diversion programs, like you said, the warm handoff, tackling some of these issues connected with opioid use here in Chaves County. That's why we've kind of come up with a few things and working with Hagerman Forward on this, and why Michael Briscoe went to Miami. I went in October of last year myself, and municipal court, Maria Ordonez went with me, because we are trying to come up with some jail diversion. We all can agree our jail does not need to be a homeless center, and it does not need to be a mental health center. There's just no way we can do that. We can't, we've had issues, and I've gone to those meetings that the city has had with the homeless population, and everybody there is just throw them in jail. No, our jail will not be a homeless center, and it will not be a mental health center. So that's why we've kind of looked at some different models, with Miami being one of the jail diversion models and the peer recovery models. So we are trying to come up with ways to help with these populations, because one of the statistics that we found is most of the homeless population does have a drug and alcohol abuse or some type of mental health. So how do we treat those people, that population, without being in our jail? Because that is not where they need to be. So that's kind of why we came up with this strategy and the MOU with the city of Roswell. I don't know how many people in this room are familiar, old enough. I was in the legislature when we came up with the tobacco funds, and how do we take those funds and how do we help with youth and tobacco use and stuff like that. This is why we want to come up with proven strategies, and there are proven strategies out there, and use these funds in a way to where we use models and proven strategies and be effective. And so that's why we're working with the city on this. I say it all the time. We can take these funds and feel good and give them to different places, and everybody walks away and feels good, but we never see any results. I am bound and determined to see results using these funds, and there is a model, and that's why I've really stressed people going to Miami and seeing this model. It's a huge model, but we can condense it down to a Chaves County model. I want Chaves County, because the state of New Mexico, as we've seen through this last legislative session, is not going to tackle these at all. They will not touch them. So why can't we use our opioid fundings and work right here in Chaves County and make Chaves County a model for the rest of the state? So that's why I would like for us to approve this MOU with the city. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Dana.
Bill, tell me about this advisory committee.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Ezell, let me give you a quick little background. When this first came out, the municipalities were given the option to pool their funds with the counties. The counties were going to be recipient of their funds, but the municipalities were allowed to put theirs together so they could fund projects together, as Commissioner Dana has stated. When it started out, Joe Nebb asked, he says, do you mind if we pool your funds? We said, absolutely not. That sounds good. Maybe we can get together enough money to make something happen. At the time, we thought the total amount was going to be considerably less than it is now, and we thought it was a one-time payment. We're just now finding out this is an ongoing thing, and so that kind of changed it. With that, the request has been made that we have an advisory committee similar to what we have with the PVRCC that would have members of the city council and members of the county commission on it, as well as a neutral third party. The fifth member would be someone from the community so that no one could actually control the funds for their particular entity. That's the intent and the design of how they're doing it. Would like to say there's nothing that would preclude us from continuing to participate with the city, with or without the deal. It's just that we have to go through the committee and follow the request, I guess, of the committee.
Okay.
Would be, is that a fair assessment, Commissioner Dana?
Right,
Yeah.
and go through
Not what the
within,
agreement says.
Yeah.
well, it would be, because with the opioid settlement agreement too, and the guidelines of how those guidelines that came down from the federal.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, before anything gets put forward, it has to be in compliance with that guidance, not in law. And one point I wanted to also make is, the agreement requires that 85% of all settlement payments be spent on opioid remediation. So as long as 85% of that is being spent on opioid, then it'll be in compliance with what the agreement says.
I read those guidelines and all that you provided for me, and it's still subjective. They don't say what is and what isn't.
Right.
They just say, here are 9 pillars of the program, if you will, and then it's just, it's wide open. This agreement says that the committee will advise the county as to the most effective way to use the funds.
Right.
Does that doesn't mean that the county has to take that advice.
That is correct.
Right.
It doesn't say the committee will direct how they, so I just
Right.
want that understood.
Right.
Because, you know, sorry, I'm being a lawyer again, but I don't like agreements where the parties agree that they'll agree later.
Any more discussion, questions?
Question. In absence of this agreement, and with the county having its own funds, what procedures would we have? Would we have better flexibility for directing those funds on behalf of the county?
Sure, Commissioner. As the MOU does state, it'll still come back in front of the county commission as advised, within a committee advising you what they'd like you to use it for. You wouldn't have to use it for that. If you don't sign the agreement, then yeah, you can go ahead and use it in any way you would like, complying with the 9 pillars, as general as they are. But I will also let you know, there's more money coming. The Purdue settlement is not official yet, and actually Purdue Pharmacy, Supreme Court just rejected it. So it's billions of dollars that could potentially be out there. And when Bill's right, when we started this project, we were not aware the state was going to settle so many of these cases. And you know, it went from a small fund, hopefully to be able to do something. Now you're going to have some real money, and you have some real money. So I think that's kind of the question. Do you want to develop this committee system and have them come and tell you what they want you to do, and then you could decide what you want to do? Or do you just want to handle that in a different manner and do it yourself without the city? You could still partner with the city if you wanted to.
Mr.
In that light, it seems like that the city I understand why the city wants us to be the fiscal agent for all the money. That's a no-brainer. But I'm concerned that this particular MOU goes a little bit too far. We've got the guidelines. It doesn't make any sense for them to have to get an expert on this program and us to have to get an expert on this program. That's just duplicative. but the city doesn't have a jail. We do. Most of our prisoners are their prisoners. So it seems to me that we ought to enter an MOU where we agree to pool the money, and we'll let them know and give them the opportunity to make suggestions as to how it's going to be done, but it's primarily going to be done through the district courts, the magistrate courts, and the Department of Corrections. And so I really don't see why we have to give up the lead on this to some committee. Just my thoughts.
Well, this is, it's kind of like, I liken it to the DWI funds. The DWI funds, we have our DWI board that kind of works in conjunction and goes in with different entities on how they're going to, what kind of programs they're going to do and how they to kind of spend the money with DW, through DWI, and how you do away with DWI and stuff. This is kind of like what we came up with the city of Roswell, the advisory committee, and how we're going to disseminate the funds through best practices. And that's kind of why we came up with an advisory committee and going through, instead of just here's the funds and you do whatever. We're trying to come up, just like with DWI, some best practices on how to, A, disseminate the funds, but B, come up with plans that will coordinate with what is mandated or whatever suggested. They are suggestions. They're not mandates, just like the DWI. They're not mandates, they're suggestions on how to come up with ways to deal with opioid, but it's also mental health in there. That's one of the things that they do provide in there, is dealing with mental health issues as well as the opioid.
Why do the city's members on this committee have to either be the mayor or city councilors?
That was put in through the City of Roswell's legal department. They kind of took our MOU and went through it.
Then why is it not 2 members of the county governing body?
There you go.
It ought to be
We can, yeah.
2 members from each, designated by each. And if they want to designate counselors, they can.
Right.
And if the county would rather have someone more educated than some of us rednecks on this thing, we could designate somebody else. So basically, just for the reasons I'm stating, I'm going to have to vote against that one as written.
Right.
I don't object to the concept.
Right.
But I don't like the words on the paper.
The committee will compose of 5 members, 2 members of the city's governing body and 2 members selected at the county's discretion. What would you like to change that to? What would you like to see that as?
Well, I would suggest that the city would appoint 2 members, the county would appoint 2 members, and those 4 members would appoint the 5th.
There you go.
I agree with that.
So you want to take out the mayor and the city council, or you just?
It just,
doesn't
it
take 'em
doesn't.
out.
No.
But the way it's read, shall be members of the city's governing body.
2 members, yeah.
What you're
the
saying,
cities.
they could appoint the mayor, they could appoint, and we could appoint
Yeah.
Ourselves.
ourselves.
Or not.
Right.
Or not. but at least it would be,
Two members of the
I
city's
agree with
governing
you,
body and 2 members selected at the county's discretion. So rather, 2 members of the city's discretion?
yeah.
And
And
that
two
is how,
members.
that's how the original was.
Yes,
That it was
it
2
was.
from us
It
and
should-
2 from
Right.
them.
It should have
and
been that way originally.
And they changed it
I'll
at
be
their
happy to
meeting.
call Hess and work
Yeah.
out something if you want.
Oh, no, it wasn't Hess's.
It was the
Hess
council.
Hess took it. It was.
Yeah, it went
City
through
of
the-
Their legal
Roswell's.
committee?
Well, they went through
No,
about 3
there's-
committees.
Yeah, it was the legal.
Yeah.
It was the legal
I'm
committee.
going to shut up before I get in trouble.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Ezell, so do we need to clarify then whether it's an advisory thing or if they will have the final say in what those funds are to be utilized for? I don't know, I just perceive that there will be some heartburn from the city if they say, we gave you the funds, but you are the ones who are going to decide if it's okay.
Well, I
And I'm
prefer
fine
the
with
word
that, but-
advise as opposed
Yeah,
to
yeah.
direct.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, advisory committee. Yeah,
Because I don't
right.
like the idea of anybody else telling us how to spend
Yeah.
even a portion of our money.
Stan, the only thing that they did change was 2 members of the city's governing body. Is that correct?
Commissioner, yes, they changed that, and then they also added something about their standing budget resolution, which I didn't really figure out why they needed that, but they put that in there too. And like I said, this went through numerous committees over there, and they
Yeah,
asked
it
for
did.
these changes.
Right. It went through, yes. So really, under number 2, I would keep it as an advisory committee because that's, yeah. And then the committee will be composed of 5 members, 2 members of the cities, 2 members selected by the city governing body? Is that what it was originally?
I think it was selected, I think, or appointed one or the other, but I think we had selected.
And then 2 members selected at the county's discretion.
Selected by the county commission. My question, okay, if this is strictly an advisory committee,
Yes.
if they come back as the commission and we don't feel like it's in the best interest of the county, we do not have to accept their recommendation, is that correct?
No, it's just like
We
the,
could,
it's like the DWI. The DWI council recommends La Casa doing this and Wings for Life doing this and all their recommendations. And we can either take those recommendations with those monies or, you know, it's kind of like the DWI Planning Council. This is a planning council advisory committee on how to, you know, what we're going to do with these funds. I mean, it's kind of like that.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, there's no imminent purchases that I'm aware of for these funds. Would you prefer that we table this and get Stan back in touch with them and kind of attempt to do this again at a later date? Or you know, and I'm also asking you, Stan, what would be the appropriate way to deal with this? Either table it or vote this one down and come back with another one? Would be the most?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Bill, Mr. Williams, I think you could either table it or you could amend it. Or vote it down. It's whatever the commission chooses to proceed with it. It's your call, however you guys want to do it.
Mr. Chairman, I agree. I think the committee would be composed of 5 members, 2 members of the city's governing body, 2 members, I like to see it 2 members appointed, just like we do with DWI. 2 members appointed by the city's governing body, and then 2 members selected by the county commission.
Or appointed by.
Or
Same
appointed by,
language.
right, just
Use the
like we
same language
do,
for both.
just like we do with all of our committees appointed by county commission.
I have a problem with amending it since it's already been executed by the city.
It has. We probably
But-
need to table it and go back to the city. What do you think, Stan?
I think that's probably a good idea,
Yeah.
and it's probably a good idea to decide how many years you want to, you appoint every year.
Right.
every 2 years,
Right.
stagger that.
We do on DWI, we appoint every year. Is that correct? Every odd year? Okay.
We could put that in
Okay.
there too, or.
Right.
I think that's a good idea. That was my next question.
Yeah.
About that, because how long will they be on this?
Well, if they want to
Right.
appoint somebody for 3 years and we want to do it for 2 and stagger, I mean, I don't
That
think
might be,
that's
yeah.
their decision, that's our decision.
Yeah.
Right.
And that might not be a bad
Right.
idea.
That way-
Mix it up.
Appoint the same person every year.
Right. That way, we're not losing all members.
the
Yeah.
But with them having 54% of the money and us having gotten 46% of the money, I don't want that to be involved in this, or then I would suggest we terminate it within the first time we get an opportunity to turn. I can't tell, my glasses aren't strong enough because the print is so small. Is it 60 days or 90
60
days?
days
Okay, thank
notice.
you. I couldn't tell the 6 from the 9. It could have been 80 for all I
Here.
could.
Minor. 60. Yeah, 60 days. Yeah.
Well, in that
Okay.
case, Mr. Chairman, I move we table item number
Second.
28. Second.
Did we get a second?
Dick.
Yes.
Okay,
Dick.
motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Taylor, to table, agenda item number 28, request to enter into an agreement with the city of Roswell to pool opioid funds with Chaves County. All in
And direct Stan, please
I'll work
work with
Okay.
Bill and
Okay.
City of Roswell. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Approval of checks.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of checks in the amount of $392,512.02.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Taylor, second by Commissioner Dana, for approval of checks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approval of reports.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve reports.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Dana, second by Commissioner Taylor for approval of reports. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll go into unscheduled communications are limited to 3 minutes per visitor, not to exceed 15 minutes. No formal action is taken by the commission. So who wants to come stand up for 3 minutes? Name and address, please.
Marvin Clemens, 6102 Kincaid. I've been up here for months and months and months and months. Couple months ago, I was happy. And all of a sudden, I get home and it's not happy around there. That place is worse than it was before we started all this mess. They're burning houses. Fire trucks show up. They tear the frames out from underneath them burning houses and drag them across the street. They drag cars up and down the street with no wheels on them. All this mess is going on. They crashing into my fence. Cost me a couple $1,000 to fix my fence. They graffitied the back alley where my storage room is. I had to go paint over that. All this is a result of two people over there that are living in camp trailers, living however they live, dragging in odd people there all the time. And it's a mess. I thought arson was against the law. I thought dragging cars up and down the street and tearing up our public streets is against the law. I don't know what's against the law no more. We pass resolutions or amendments or ordinances or whatever. I guess telling me that They took this Mr. Chips to the court. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts, and Mason says, okay, well, that's it. There's nothing being done. If the courts doesn't do anything, what do we need the courts for? Guys, something's got to give in my neighborhood. I don't know what's going on in the other neighborhoods around this town, but if it's that way all over this whole town, we need to get more police, get more ordinances, get tougher judges or something, because it's just getting worse instead of better. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Again, this is concerning the condemnation of 6217 Devonian Road, Charles Noriega. Come August, you are going to be addressing this in a public hearing, as you had given him 6 months to approve or improve the property. On my inspection on the 19th, on Friday, we found that there were people living in the blue travel trailer with generators. We also found there was a backhoe that was being used to dig holes, not only 2 holes, but later we found another set of holes over on Hellam's property. Both holes were empty at the time of the inspection, though. And then also what we found is a new white 32-foot fifth-wheel trailer placed on the property. That is also shown there in photos. Also, what we found on Friday was since June, he has placed more vehicles on the property. Now there are approximately 40 to 60 vehicles on the property. Upon speaking with him about this, he doesn't plan on crushing any more vehicles until he gets 100 of them on the property, per his words. The white mobile home is being used, of course, as a storage shed, as you can see on the photo. We do not have a placement permit for it. This is the one that was on Devonian Road for a number of months and then reappeared on his property. The brownish mobile home is being used as a home. Again, it's used as generators. It is dumping its waste just onto the ground. We have informed the environmental department, who will simply just write a letter to him and move on, as they always do. There are people living in that blue travel trailer. And then on the next page, I was out on Monday and picking up my prescription from Sam's Club, I was informed by the neighbor of Mr. Noriega that he was out there burying his trash and debris. And so I made an emergency call to the Sheriff's Department to assist me on Monday, and we went out there and we found a number of dirt piles. And when you find dirt piles like this, you usually come directly from a hole. You don't blade a dirt pile like this, as you all know. So somewhere on that property, real close to that dirt pile, is probably a hole full of trash. And so the next photo you see is it is completely bladed clean. So if and when, and I say when, we have to address this property, we are probably going to be digging up some holes and digging up some trash to dispose of. For environmental reasons, as we do not want this trash to contaminate the neighbors and their wells. The last page you'll see, this is trash left on Hellam's property to the west. I have informed the son, Andrew Helms, of Billy Helms, and informed him that it would be best that he secure the property and clear off that debris himself, rather than waiting for Mr. Noriega to dig another hole and dispose of it himself. I will be asking, Chairman Commissioner.
Were they, Helms, were they willing to do that, or?
Yes, Mr. Helms was going to investigate what was going on his property right away. I have not heard back from him.
Are you proposing that Mr. Helms remove the trash and pay for that removal himself that somebody else placed?
I'm afraid so. Yes, Chairman, Commissioners. If we leave it to Mr. Noriega, I'm afraid he'll dispose of it there on the property.
Didn't our agreement with Mr. Noriega contain his agreement not to conduct business anymore?
Yes. And it is.
So doesn't having 40 to 60 looking for 100 seem to be like it's conducting business?
There is a lot of business going on the property. He is.
Funny business, monkey business.
Correct. In his statement on Friday, I asked why there were so many vehicles. In what he stated was that people were coming on the property and repairing their vehicles at a cost.
Meaning they're compensating him.
He's being compensated for providing land, shelters.
So that's his business now, that he agreed not to do.
He has.
You think we ought to have it enjoined? Because of
Mr. Chairman, you want to wait a month and we can just do it all at one time?
his 6 months is up in August?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, let's wait a month.
Less miraculously.
Chairman, Commissioners, he has applied for a business license through the city of Roswell for towing, storage, and strangely enough, an accounting service. Which, of course, thanks to my great relations with the city, that is passed on to me, and I denied that based on the condemnation resolution on the property and agreement which he is under. He continues to state that he is going to get his towing license from the state, but if that happens, well,
And we've made it clear to him that we expect him to live by that agreement, and we will take any remedies we have if he does not.
Chairman, Commissioners, I would ask that we make an arrangement in August. I would like to not only take the Sheriff's Department, which always goes with me at that facility, but at least 2 commissioners and either Bill or Alex, so that that final determination can be made by a broader group rather than just myself.
I'll go, Mike, but I want a special deputy's badge.
Can I pick my deputy?
I do. No, not really.
I don't think Mr. Noriega's ever going to abide by the law.
No.
I mean, he's always going to find something.
And then, real quick, what happened down there on Ryan and Kincaid? I'll let Mr. Harrington speak on the fire, but we are cleaning up that frame. That frame is in the right-of-way. We understand. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Road Department, for handling that quickly. Thank you, Finance, for allowing us to get that done quickly. We feel that any motor vehicle that is a danger to the health, safety, and wellness of the citizens needs to be removed quickly. And so we try to act on it as quickly as we can. So thank you.
I really appreciate you doing that. Is there any repercussion? It sounds like that mobile home was drugged from one property and left at another. Is there any repercussion for that? Or a case ongoing that says?
I will leave that to Mr. Harrington as far as legal. So we actually do charge them if they're in possession of vehicles without or they're tearing them apart without having a dismantler's license. Also, if they're putting them onto the other property which belongs to somebody else, we charge them with the littering and then we tow the cars. So we are arresting people, we are citing people. One of the things that I will tell you is that in the state of New Mexico, most of that is misdemeanors, and it goes to magistrate court, and there is no possibility of jail. Usually it's a fine, unless we catch them in possession of a stolen car. Now it goes to a different level. Like I said, it is an ongoing, never-ending issue out there. But it is one of the reasons that I will tell you is a lot of the people who live out there don't have houses of their own, so they're transients who are moving back and forth. And the graffiti on his back fence could be anybody in that area. We just have no idea. They use his property as the way to get to Allsup's. You know, it's just a direct path. So, and my dad lives out there. It's the same things that are happening there where he's at. It's a constant battle. My guys are out there. Like I said, we're towing cars as quick as they come in. You don't have a title, we're towing them. We're doing everything that we can on our side. The laws are just not enough in a sense of putting people in jail. It's just fines. And they come up with the money for the fines. So that's where we're at.
Chairman, Commissioners, one thing we're going to ask, if you could talk to our state representatives, is to increase those particular fines and jail time for violation of county ordinances. Right now, it's $300 or 90 days. That is not enough. That is something that was set in the early 80s, and that is just not enough anymore. We're seeing other states pushing it up to $1,000 to the point where it has to be done. It is something that has to be considered by our state legislators.
Do you know that
Please.
statute off the top of your head?
What's that?
Do you know that statute number off the top of your head, or
No,
will you email me later?
I will give that to you later.
Thank you.
Yes.
So just to add to that, one of the things that for them, if they take a car to a wrecking yard or to the recycling place, they'll get $300, $400 for a car. Once they've tore it apart, they've got everything out of it just for the shell of the car, they'll make about $300. So that in turn pays whatever fine if you do get a fine. And I don't know if you have seen the penalty assessments or the actual penalties that the state of New Mexico has now put into place, but it is absolutely ridiculous. They've taken away all court costs. Yeah. They've taken away everything. So if you are a speeder, you're looking about at a $25 fine for speeding in the state of New Mexico, down from $100. So, but there's a lot of things that are going on that hopefully will change soon.
Please don't share that information with my wife.
She's the reason for that.
Mr. Chairman, Lewis, did we increase your budget at all for more of this cleanup for this year?
Yes. Chairman, Commissioners, yes, you did. Thank you very much.
Because I know you ran out last year, correct?
Correct. We are in the process of including 2 properties within Marvin's general neighborhood. But we're going to approach one of the property owners, once I speak with Bill, to try to negotiate another means of gathering or getting it, rather than having to go through condemnation and cleanup and liens and so forth. Maybe they'll be interested in actually allowing us to take over the property where they're doing the dismantling at, which is right across the street. The owner is in Florida, so they have no interest, out of sight, out of mind.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lewis. Anyone else? Okay. Bill?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, as always, July is a very busy time for county administrative offices. All departments, detentions, sheriff's office, all the elected officials, planning and zoning, you hear from them every month. And of course, we hear from IT every time there's a commission meeting. We all recognize their value greatly because we talk about them all the time. But I want to point out this time of year, when we pass the budget, there are so many little pieces to the puzzle, and that's why this meeting was so long today. Of course, we have so much boilerplate stuff, but Adriana, who does our grants, she had 7 separate agreements that she had to bring to you, and each one of those takes a considerable amount of time. Record keeping is not just in July. That record keeping is 24/7. She has to do make sure that we're compliant with everything, do a good job, and she does a great job with that. Emma had all the leases that came back through this. We finally have, I think, got all the ending dates to end June 30th and start again July 1st. Stan has to look at each of those. Finance looks at those. Anna looks at many of our agreements to make sure that they're compliant with procurement. We had Emma back in again for personnel policy. We're consistently doing things, updating, making sure that the county is run properly, and we have a great staff to do that. Alex and Joe presented about $1 million in LGRF funding this year. That doesn't just happen overnight. There's consistent reporting, tracking, evaluations going on, and I just want to thank all of our staff for that. And I want to introduce a new member of our staff, Joseph Kobos, if you'd stand up, please. He's going to be our new safety and compliance officer, and we look forward to having him here. He's going to be a great member of our team, as all our other members of the team. But just really want to thank everyone in the county and appreciate all that you're doing. Appreciate all that we're trying to do for people like Mr. Clements. You know, I know it's an ongoing thing. Your hands are tied in many cases legally, but thank you for continuing to do those things. That's all I have. Thank you guys for all the support that you give us, and we look forward to continuing to have another great year. Look forward to going to Littlefield with you this evening. Thank you.
Commissioner Perry.
Anybody got any idea what the record is for agenda items in one meeting?
I don't know, but
we might be close.
I commend everybody.
Well, with that, thank you for everybody for their presentations. I really appreciate it. If you took the opportunity to speak, I just wanted to say, let's not forget the Chaves County Fair is still going, and the youngins are selling their stuff tomorrow night. So if you guys got a chance, go out there. If you can't support them with money, support them with a couple of claps and buy some candy canes or something, because it's a good opportunity for the kids and a good opportunity for the community. Thank you.
Mr. Taylor.
I'd like to first of all, thank Annabelle and her entire staff. Mm-hmm. It was a pleasure working with them on this budget. They do a tremendous job, and a lot of work went into the final budget. And also, I'd like to thank all of the various department heads for the great work they've done in keeping their budget under control and having so that we have carryovers. In other words, they're not spending everything they have to. I mean, well, they're spending what they need to, but they're not using all of their budget, which is allowing us to have carryovers and have a very sound financial system here at the county. So I thank all staff people, and especially the department heads and Annabelle, and just a great county. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Taylor. Commissioner Dana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too want to thank Annabelle, and thank you for all your help in answering questions and things like that. Thank you to flood control and to road department. With the rain, there does come some issues that come down the pike, so I appreciate what y'all do for kind of keeping things. We love the rain, but sometimes it can kind of be a pain. But I appreciate corrections. Thank you for everything that y'all do out at the detention center. Thank you, Mike, and your new recruits. That's wonderful. Nice to see these young kids coming in, and gosh, they're young. So prayers and over them for safekeeping. So, but appreciate everything that everybody does. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Ezell.
I'd like to echo everything Commissioner Taylor said about Annabelle and her staff in the finance department and all of the department heads. They make the budget process so much easier for the finance committee. It's not even funny. fellow commissioners, I have authorized an expenditure of $500 at the junior livestock sale in our names tomorrow, and I will take your contributions at any time. And, wow, now, there you go. And thank y'all for a great meeting. Thanks for sticking it out with us.
Thank you, commissioners. I want to commend everybody being on their toes today to get through this lengthy agenda. So anyway, once again, thank everybody for their hard work and support, and we're going to adjourn to sign documents.
Yay.